Don't talk about it like you're crazy. You know damn well I can't replace you. Just say what you mean. Don't waste your time being mad at me. Say what you mean. Say what you mean.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if this is the first video you are seeing from me, welcome. For today's video, I am going to be deep cleaning my living room. I really needed to get my couch and the rug in the living room cleaned up because they are just really messy and dirty. And I also wanted to do a really quick clean here in my dining room. And then at the end of the video, I went ahead and cleaned and decluttered my baby's room just because there are so many things in there that I needed to get rid of. So that's what I have planned for this video. So if you are ready to watch me clean this house up and get motivated, then just stick around.
What's going on? Don't waste your time being all alone. Say what you mean. Say what you mean. And you'll get what you need. Get what you need.
So my dining room actually wasn't too bad. We had been really good about making sure we were picking up after ourselves after eating. So the dining table really just needed a good wipe down. There was a couple things on the floor that the kids had thrown under the table. So I just went ahead and got all of that picked up. After I clean off the tabletop, I do like to throw my chairs up there just because I feel like it makes it a lot easier for me to clean under the table, especially when it comes to mopping and vacuuming. So that's what I like to do. And like I said, once I got that done, I just picked up all of the big pieces of trash off of the floor and threw those away. And then I pulled out my Tinco iFloor 3 to clean all of the floors. I have mentioned this machine in all of my previous videos, and again, I absolutely love it. It just makes cleaning the hard floors so much easier. So that's what I'm going to use. For my solution on this day, I went ahead and used my sanitizing solution. This is just like a sanitizer that I had purchased from Sam's Club. And recently I've been loving using this stuff just because we are getting into cold and flu season, and I just feel like, especially since I have a baby who still crawls. He has started walking, but sometimes he'll fall over and then he'll just crawl instead of getting back up. So since I have a little crawler still, I do want to make sure during cold and flu season that I'm keeping the house as clean as possible. So using the sanitizing solution just makes me feel so much better with my little one crawling on the floor. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll go ahead and take all of the chairs off of the dining table and just set that back up. And that is how I clean out my dining space.
We can go to figure out what we've done, what we need to do. Yeah, I got you, I got you, I got you.
I'm thinking you were made for me. Isn't it my birthday yet? Cause I gotta say, you're looking like a gift for me. Wrapped up nice and neat, baby. Get in my way now, don't be shy. We'll be here dancing day and night. Get in my groove now, don't be shy. Cause I got this list of my favorite things. You could be the part where it all begins. You could be the first and the second and the third and the rest of it. You could be one of the things I love. Sunday morning breakfast with my bedroom door locked. I like everything that has a cherry on top. Get on my list of the things I love, love, love. You could be the one I trust. All the second chances, they are nothing for us. I like it all with the cherry on top. Be one of the things I love. We don't have to move so fast, baby. I will show you how you can catch my vibe. And right away, got so much time looping in the blurry lights. Get in my way now, don't be shy. We'll be here dancing day and night. Get in my groove now, don't.
The next thing I wanted to do was just clean off this high chair here, and to do that I am using a wet washcloth with my Method Anti-Bac All-Purpose Cleaner. This one is in the wildflower scent and it smells so good. So I just sprayed down the entire high chair and just kind of wiped it off, and then I cleaned off the padding on this seat. I did have to put the bottom piece in the sink and wash that off just because it had a lot of stuff stuck on there, and it's just easier for me to clean it if I take it out and wash it in the sink. So that's what I did, and then I will move on to the next thing.
One of the things I love.
So the last thing I wanted to do on this night was I wanted to go ahead and get all of the couch cushions washed, like the ones that go on the back of the couch, and then I wanted to go ahead and take off all of the covers for the cushions that we sit on and get those washed as well, just because my kids have been taking food into the living room. Now, we don't allow them to take food into the living room, but I don't know how they always end up doing it without anyone seeing. So yeah, so they had spilt a couple of things here on the couch cushion. There was like some white stuff on this longer couch, and I believe that was yogurt that was spilled, and there was just like chocolate and just like different things that were on the couch, and it was just getting worse and worse. So I decided it was time to go ahead and get these covers taken off the cushions and washed. So I went ahead and took those into the laundry room, and I just washed them on a delicate cycle, and then I air dried them in the dryer.
Sneaking out at night to laugh with you in secret under city lights. Surprised you never had the guts to figure out how I feel about you. Wish me the best of luck. I'm gonna win your love. Coming to get you, dying to feel your touch. Wish me the best of luck. Coming to get you. Wish me the best of luck. Trying to steal your heart. Coming to get you. Coming to get you. Coming to get you. I've tried sometimes, but you're making me nervous. No, I've realized that I can't live without you. All my friends reassure that it's obvious, and that maybe I'm wasting my time, but I gotta try.
Now, this was the following day. I spent the rest of my night just getting all of the cushions that go on the back of the couch washed, and I had to wash them 2 at a time, so it did take a little while, but I didn't want to film all of that just because that's kind of boring. But yeah, this is the following day. I just grabbed my Eufy hand vacuum and I went through the couch and just vacuumed up all of the dirt and all of the rest of the crumbs that were left there. And there was actually a lot more crumbs here on the couch, but you'll probably notice if you've watched any of my other videos that when I clean, my 2 little dogs like to follow me around everywhere, and that's just because they know when I clean that there's gonna be crumbs of food, you know, on the floor. And so anytime I wipe anything off of the table onto the floor or like the high chair, they're always there at my feet eating up all of the crumbs. So as I was taking all of the cushions off of the couch, my little dog was jumping up there and just eating all of the crumbs that she could find. So like I said, there was a lot more crumbs, but she ate a lot of them, and so there was just a lot of dirt and dust left behind. So that's what I'm gonna vacuum up, and then I was gonna go ahead and wipe off the fabric because there were a couple of stains there as well.
Wish me the best of luck. I'm gonna win your love. Coming to get you, dying to feel your touch. Wish me the best of luck. Coming to get you. Wish me the best of luck. Trying to steal your heart. Coming to get you. Coming to get you. Coming to get you. Coming to get you.
Before I wiped down the fabric on the couch, I decided to go ahead and just clean up all of the little random stuff that I found in the couch, and then just all of the stuff that was on the floor. So I just went around and picked all of that stuff up, threw the trash in the trash, and then took everything that wasn't supposed to be in here and put them in the rooms where they were supposed to go.
Places, I hope it means that you'll come home to me once you travel the world, all the spaces inside your heart.
So to clean the fabric on the couch, I went and got my Chemical Guys lightning fast carpet cleaner. This is something that we use to clean the upholstery in our cars, and it seems to work really well on stuff like this here in the house. So that's what I went and grabbed, and all I did was I just sprayed down all of the little spots on the couch where I noticed there was like stuff, either stains or just like little sticky stuff, which is most likely candy that got stuck under the couch cushion. I just sprayed all of those down, and then I took my wet washcloth and I just scrubbed those in really well just to help take that stuff stuff off of the couch. And then I just let it dry, and once it was dry, you will see here in a little bit, it just cleaned the couch really well, and it just made my couches look brand new again. This is something that I do like to do occasionally, just because I feel like cleaning this part of the couch does get overlooked quite a bit. And for me, I just like to do this type of stuff occasionally, just because I feel like it really helps to prolong the life of your furniture.
You come home to me once you travel the world, all the spaces inside your heart. I hope I'll be your destination. I hope I'll be your life-changing sensation. I hope I'll be something that you won't let go. I'll be your high when you fall down low. I hope I'll be your...
Once I got that done, then I wanted to go ahead and put these covers back on the couch cushions, and let me tell you, that was a task, because the covers that go on the couch cushions are so tight, and I mean, they're designed to be that way. But I remember the first time I did this, I've only ever washed the covers on my couch cushion once before, and that's just because I remember how hard it was to put the covers back on the couch cushions, and I remember telling myself I was never gonna do it again. But honestly, it is a little difficult to put the covers back on the cushion, but I feel like it was a lot easier than trying to shampoo the couch cushions with my little Bissell shampooer. So I will probably be cleaning my couch this way from now on, just because, like I said, it was definitely a lot easier, even though it still was a little difficult putting the covers back on the couch cushions. But honestly, it wasn't as hard this time as it was the very first time, and I think the reason being is because the first time, I'm pretty sure I dried the covers in the dryer, so they might have shrunk a little bit. But this time I did go ahead and air dry them, so it was a little easier, and they were still a little bit damp when I put them back on the cushions. And then once I got those put back on the cushions, I went ahead and put the couches back together. So I did mention this in my previous video, but just in case you didn't see that video, I wanted to go ahead and mention it here. I did get braces, and so if you notice I sound a little bit different, that is why, because when you get braces, it does make you sound a little bit different. Like for me, I feel like I have a little bit of a lisp, and it's just harder to get my lips to go over the braces because they feel so big in my mouth, and so I'm just having to relearn how to talk and just how to like close my mouth or close my lips together, if that makes any sense. But I am gonna tell you a funny story about when I got my braces on here in a little bit.
I'm not being mean, I'm just being me. I don't make it easy, but I'm worth a while. All that I ask is for you to please my every need, to put in the time. I'm through trying to tell you what to do, how to make me fall for you. You should learn that on your own. I play cool, cause I hope you pick it up soon, and you know just what to do. Don't you? Boy, just be honest. I know you want it. Put some work into it, cause you know that I'm hard to love. It won't be easy, so don't be lazy. Just give it to me, cause you know that I'm hard to love. I'm hard to love. Boy, you know that I'm hard to love. I'm hard to love. Boy, you know that I'm hard to love. I'm hard to love. Boy, you know that I'm hard to love. I'm hard to love. Boy, you know that I'm hard to love. I'm through trying to tell you what to do, how to make me fall for you.
So once I got the couches cleaned, then I went ahead and went through this little area below the TV and just kind of dusted that off, and then the area over by the fireplace. And then once I got that done, I moved our coffee table off of the rug because I'm gonna go ahead and shampoo this rug because it really needs a deep cleaning. And so I needed to move the coffee table. It is really heavy. I store my kids' books in there, so I had to really use a lot of muscle to try and get that off of the rug. And then I also moved all of the couches and stuff back away from the rug, like I said, just to get everything off of there so I could go ahead and get it shampooed. To prep my rug for shampooing, the first thing I did, of course, was I just went through and vacuumed up all of the loose dirt with my Shark cordless vacuum. And then I wanted to go ahead and spray all of the stained areas on the rug, and I didn't really have like a carpet stain remover spray or like spot remover, and so I just used what I had in my laundry room. This is my OxyClean that I use to spray on stains for my laundry, and I was like, well, this is all I have, so I might as well go ahead and try it. And it did actually work really well, so I just went around the entire rug and just sprayed all of the little spots, like I said, that I found. And a lot of this was like little spots of food or candy, and then there was a couple of ink stains from the kids. One time my son was trying to write with a gel pen and it wasn't writing, so he decided to go ahead and bang the pen up against the coffee table, and he actually broke it, and so ink splattered all over the rug. So I was spraying those spots with the stain remover, and then once I did that, then I grabbed my little gallon sprayer, and inside of this gallon sprayer I have my Chemical Guys lightning fast carpet cleaner. This is what I like to use when I clean any of my carpets or my rugs. What I like to do when I clean my carpet and rugs, it's actually something newer that I have been doing. Instead of putting the solution inside of my carpet cleaner machine, I will go ahead and put it inside of this sprayer, and I just go over the entire area with it just to kind of wet the carpet down a little bit and to help loosen up the dirt. Once I get it sprayed down, then I will let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes, and then I go and fill my carpet cleaner. The one that I have is the Bissell Pet Pro. I will link it down below if anybody is interested. I got this one from Amazon. But what I will do is I will just go ahead and fill the tank on this machine with just plain hot water, and after I get the carpet sprayed down, then I will go back with my machine a couple of times just to kind of lift all of that dirt and whatever is on the rug. And you will see when I dump the water out, it is so dirty. It is always so satisfying to me to see all of like the dirty water whenever I do any type of carpet cleaning. It's probably been over a year and a half since I have cleaned this rug, so it was definitely due for a good deep clean. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to go over the rug with my carpet cleaner. I do like to do at least 3 passes whenever I am cleaning the rug, just to get it as clean as possible. And if I can, I try to go in different directions. That just helps to get as much dirt out as possible because you are hitting the fibers at different angles, and so it just pulls up more dirt than if you were just to go one direction.
Yeah, hold on. So hold on. Always keep your head up, never let it beat you.
So before I tell you guys the story about when I got my braces on, I just wanted to mention that after I went over the carpet the first time with my shampooer, I decided to go ahead and steam it. I have this steamer that I got from Amazon, and some of the stains weren't really coming out, especially the ink stains, so I decided to go ahead and pull out my steamer to try and see if I could get those stains to lift a little easier. And then also little areas where there was candy stuck on the carpet, using a steamer steamer just helps to really get a lot of that sticky stuff up and off the carpet. So I decided to go ahead and pull it out. And then since I had it out, I decided to just go ahead and do a full pass over the entire carpet. I just feel like this really helps to disinfect and sanitize the carpet. So like I said, since I had it out, I decided just to go ahead and do a full pass. And then once I got that done, then I did go back and spray another layer of the carpet cleaning solution, and then I went over one last time with my Bissell just to rinse the carpet out, and then went over it again without laying any water down, just to suck up as much water as I could, so that way the carpet would dry a lot faster.
Behavior towards you, the one he loses. I know that.
So the story about when I got my braces on, I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's kind of a cool story and a little bit of a testimony. So when I went to go get my braces, it actually happened unexpectedly. Like, I honestly was not expecting to get braces that week at all. I went to a dentist appointment to get some dental work done, and while I was there, I had mentioned something about my teeth not being straight, and the dentist did say that she recommended for me to go ahead and get braces. And we had talked about it before, but this time she told the front desk, or the receptionist lady, to go ahead and call the orthodontist office and try and get me an appointment with them. So she did that. They called me and they were like, hey, we actually have an opening tomorrow. Would you like to come in tomorrow? So I said yes. Went in for my consultation, and then once I was done with the consultation, they asked if I wanted to go ahead and get an appointment to get the braces on, and I said yes. And they happened to have an opening like 3 days later, so it was pretty crazy. From the time that I went to my dentist appointment to the time I got the braces on was 5 days. But anyway, I went to my consultation and I was talking to the orthodontist, and it is pretty, I guess you could say it's unusual for adults to get braces. Usually when people get braces, you are either a kid or a teenager. And so my orthodontist was talking to me about me getting braces, and he was saying that a lot of times when adults get braces, it hurts like 10 times more than it would if you've had braces as a teenager, just because like your jaw or your like bones in your mouth are still growing, and so they are more likely to move a lot easier. But when you're an adult, your bones are no longer growing, and so they really harden up, and so when you get your braces on, it really hurts for the teeth to be moved. And so he just kept telling me it's gonna hurt so bad. He was saying he didn't want to sugarcoat it, and he just wanted to let me know that it was gonna hurt, and I was like, okay. And the lady who put my braces on is actually family. Her husband and my husband are cousins, and so we knew each other. And whenever I was getting my braces on, well, before she put the braces on me, she was talking about her experience, because she also had braces when she was a teenager like I did, and then she got them again when she was an adult. And she was even telling me that when she got her braces the second time, that it hurt really bad. And the orthodontist was saying that usually when you're a teenager or a kid, you get braces, after about 3 or 4 days, your mouth will start getting used to it. But he said as an adult, it could take up to a week. So hearing all of that was starting to really scare me, and I was just like, okay, you guys are not doing a really good job at making me like want to get braces. I felt like, even though I knew I wasn't gonna back out, I was like, maybe I shouldn't get them and I'll just deal with my teeth how they are. But when I got my braces the first time, I honestly wasn't happy with the results when they took them off, and so I was just like, you know what, let me do it again and we'll see how it goes this time. And I just had a lot more confidence in this orthodontist, because he just seemed to care a lot more than the previous orthodontist that I had. Honestly, I felt like with them, they were just like, okay, let's just throw the braces on and just get them as straight as we can. As to where with this guy, I just felt like it was more personal. He'd actually talked to me about, you know, what I wanted, and we have a plan. And so yeah, I was fully committed to getting the braces on. But real quickly, before I continue with this story, here on the rug, I did want to go ahead and fluff the fibers up, because this is something that I had seen in a YouTube video of some professional cleaners. They have something called a carpet rake, and what they do is after you shampoo the carpet, you kind of fluff the fibers back up and let them dry in that position, and it's just supposed to help to make your carpet a lot fluffier. So I wanted to do that, but I didn't have a carpet rake. I've been meaning to buy one, but I haven't bought one yet. So I just grabbed my dog's brush, and I figured it would work just fine, and it actually did. So I just went through the entire rug and just kind of brushed the fibers straight up, so that way they could dry in an upward position and just make the rug look more fluffy.
You give me this energy. It is like you set me free. Chasing highs.
So I let the rug dry overnight, and the next day I decided to go ahead and go over the entire rug with my vacuum just to pick up any of like the hair or fibers that were pulled out of the carpet, because I notice a lot of times when I use the carpet cleaner, sometimes it doesn't fully like pick up all of the hair or like fibers that it's pulling out of the rug. It does a really good job at pulling them out, but it doesn't always like completely vacuum them up into the machine. But as you can see, the rug was super dirty before, and then the after shots, it is 10 times better than it was before, and it honestly feels really good having a nice clean rug in here. But getting back to the story of getting my braces on. So everyone was telling me it was gonna hurt so bad, and like I said, I was so kind of scared and nervous just hearing all of their stories. And the orthodontist has put braces on many adults, and in his experience, it tends to hurt a lot. So after I got my braces on, I went out into the parking lot and I got in my car, and the first thing I could think of doing was to just pray, because like I said, I was a little scared. Actually, I was a lot scared of the pain that was coming. And I just remember sitting there in my car and I just started praying to God, just asking, you know, for everything that they were telling me to not happen. And I just remember saying that Jesus always has a better way. And a lot of times I feel like people have a hard time asking God for things when they feel like it is silly, because I feel like a lot of times when people pray, it is for more serious things, which I kind of feel like, yes, it is important to pray when you are going through hard things, like super hard things, but it is also okay to pray for little things like this, because I honestly feel like it really helps to build up your faith. And so anyway, I just remember sitting there and I was just saying, you know, God, I know that Jesus always has a better way, so I'm just asking you to please just give me a different way through Jesus, and just kind of saying like, I don't know what that's gonna be like, but I do know that if I ask for it, it will be given to me. So I sat there, I prayed, and then I left. And after I left, I started feeling like a little bit of pressure in my mouth from the braces, and I just remember driving home and kind of feeling that pressure, and then just kind of telling myself, no, it's not gonna hurt, because I asked God for a different way. And it was really crazy because I started noticing that my mouth was starting to feel sore. Like I could tell that my mouth was sore, but it wasn't hurting. Like there was absolutely no pain, and it was actually so crazy. And honestly, when I'm telling this story, I've told it to a couple of people, I don't know how to explain how it felt. Like I could feel that my teeth were sore, but there was no pain. And I started to notice that it started to feel like a cooling sensation. like a cooling sensation coming out of my gums. And I don't know, it was really crazy, and I was just so happy because I knew that my prayer had been answered. And so even though some people might think I'm crazy or that it sounds silly to pray for something like that, I just wanted to share my story just to let people know that it is okay to pray for little things like this, and that God is just willing to give you whatever it is that you need, as long as you know that there is a better way, like it will be given to you. So it never hurt, and within 2 days my teeth started getting used to the braces. Like after 2 days I could eat normally, and that's actually pretty crazy too, because like I said, the orthodontist was saying that it would take up to 7 days. And as I mentioned before, I did have braces once when I was a teenager, and I do remember it hurting a lot. And for the first like 3 days, I think I had to take ibuprofen around the clock just to help the pain. And so this time around that didn't happen, and yeah, I was just so happy. And I remember the next day after I got my braces on, they called me from the orthodontist office, and the lady was just like, hey, we're calling to check up on you to see how you are doing. Do you have any pain? And I was just like, nope, I don't have any pain. And she was really surprised. She's like, oh, okay, well, we're glad to hear that you're doing well. And I told my husband about this experience, and I just remember telling him, like, I don't know how to explain, you know, how it felt or what happened, but all I can say is that I was so terrified. I went outside and I prayed, and this is what happened. And I just remember saying, like, the only thing that I can say is that Jesus always has a better way. So yeah, that is my testimony of how I got my braces and how everybody kept telling me it was going to be so painful, but it actually wasn't. So the last thing I wanted to do was I needed to go ahead and get my baby's room cleaned up and decluttered, because we have so many things in this room and it started to get out of hand to the point where it was getting really hard to like walk through the room because of all of the baby items that we had in here. He had swings, bouncers, jumpers, just like all of the stuff that you get when you have a baby. But now that he is a year old, he doesn't really need a lot of this stuff that we have in here. So I needed to go ahead and get all of this stuff out that I want to either give away to people or sell. And like I said, that is a lot of these bigger items in here, and I just felt like I needed to get all of that out of here to give me more space to be able to just even walk through the room, and then also for my baby to be able to play on the floor with his toys and just not have all of this all over the place. So I just went through and just like picked up all of the trash and moved all of the stuff out of the room that we didn't need in there anymore. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and go through and just clean everything out, vacuum all of the carpets, and then change the sheets. And then I did have a basket full of clean clothes that I needed to go ahead and go through, fold, hang up, and just get everything put away. And then once I got that done, then I did do a little bit of a rearranging of the furniture, and I moved the crib out of the way and vacuumed back there as well.
In all these photos, caught in the memories and captured in the highlights, just keep on wasting. Might be easier just to let it go, cut the cable short and the problem solved. Might be easier for you, I do it all night. You're my only lifeline.
one of the things I really need to do in this room is I really need to go through my son's closet and just declutter and get rid of a bunch of stuff in there, because kind of how I have a lot of the baby stuff in the room, like the swings and the bouncers and stuff, I feel like there's also a lot of stuff in his closet that he does not use anymore, that he doesn't need. I do still have all of his clothes from when he was a newborn in the closet as well. They're not hung up in the closet, but they are up top in bags, and I have been keeping those just in case one of my siblings has another baby, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen anytime soon. So I think I need to go ahead and try and get rid of a lot of that stuff just so I have more room in the closet. Honestly, I don't like having all of this stuff on the floor, like the baskets and stuff like that. I just feel like I could utilize this space a lot better. I do want to see if I can find like a little dresser that'll fit inside of his closet to put all of his little pants and socks and stuff inside of, because right now I'm using the little bins and they do work well, but I feel like it looks a little messy, and so I want to see if I can find a dresser that'll fit in here where I can put that stuff and then kind of tuck it away. And then also it'll give me a little more shelf space if I have a dresser where I can just like put stuff on top of it as well. So that is something that I do want to do eventually. I'm not sure how soon I'm gonna get that done, but I'm hoping here in the next few months that I can do that. I'm kind of thinking maybe one of his Christmas presents can be that dresser, because he is a little baby, and a lot of times I find that when we get Christmas presents for our babies, we just kind of don't really know what to get, and we typically will give our kids each a budget, and a lot of times it's really hard to meet that budget for the babies just because they don't really need that many toys. And so I'm kind of thinking that might be a good idea to go ahead and get him a dresser for one of his Christmas presents. So yeah, that is my plan for the closet, and like I said, hopefully I will be able to get that done here in the near future. Another thing I really need to do in this room is I really need to shampoo this carpet. We have been in this house for a little over a year now, and these carpets are starting to get really dirty. My goal is to hopefully be able to shampoo the carpets, all of the carpets in the house, at least once a year, maybe twice. I'm really not too sure, but when I lived in my previous home, I did not shampoo the carpets for, I want to say like 6 or 7 years, just because honestly I never really thought about it. And because that was our first house, like we were still learning a lot about taking care of a house, and I honestly didn't know they had shampooers, like little ones that you could purchase and keep. The only ones that I knew about were like the rug doctors that you could rent, and we had rented one of those once before and I absolutely hated it. But anyway, when I moved the crib out of the way, I noticed that there was some red or pinkish stuff on the floor. I don't know exactly what it is. It kind of looks like some sort of candy that was placed on the carpet, and it's just been sitting there. So I really need to get in this room and shampoo it. I'm thinking that might be one of the next things I do. So here is all of the stuff that I decluttered from his room. It did really make a huge difference getting all of this stuff out of there, and it just feels so good just not having so much stuff in his room. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you do hit that subscribe button because I would really love to have you. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button as well. That does really help my channel to grow. So I just wanted to say thank you again so much for clicking on this video and watching. I love you guys, and I will plan on seeing you in my next video. Bye!